All right, let's talk about something that's not just shaking up the insurance world, it's completely flipping it on its head. I'm talking about AI agents. And trust me, this is probably the biggest change the industry has seen in, well, a generation.
And if you're wondering why you should care, well, just follow the money. In 2023, the AI and insurance market was already a huge $16 billion. Pretty big, right? But hold on. The forecast for 2030? A mind-blowing $76 billion. That's not just growth, folks. That's a full-on explosion. The entire game is changing as we speak.
So, what does all that money actually mean for you or for insurance companies? Well, it means this. Think about filing a claim. The old school way? You're waiting 5 to 7 days, maybe more. With AI agents on the job, that whole process can be wrapped up in as little as 1 hour. We're not talking about a small tweak here. This is a complete teardown of the old way of doing things.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the AI revolution that's happening right now. Then we'll get to know the AI agent itself. We're going to peek under the hood to see how it ticks, check out the impact it's having, and then look to the future. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first up, the AI revolution. You know, when you see numbers like we just saw, the market nearly quintupling, claim times basically vanishing, you realize the conversation has totally changed. It's no longer should we use AI, it's how fast can we get it. This is now a must-have, a strategic necessity. The companies that get this right, they're not just going to lead, they're going to own the next decade. So if this AI thing is so essential, what exactly is it? We're talking about AI agents. And please, get the idea of a simple chatbot out of your head. This is so much more than that. The best way to picture it? Imagine your most efficient coworker ever.
Okay, let's get a little more specific. An AI agent is basically a smart piece of software that can think for itself. And that's the key phrase right there, think for itself. It handles really complex jobs like figuring out risk or sniffing out fraud, and it does it all without a person holding its hand. It's like a central brain that plugs into the whole company.
And this quote just nails it. Seriously, forget about all the tech jargon for a moment. Just picture this. A coworker who never gets tired, who is ridiculously organized, who remembers every tiny detail of every case, ever. And they work around the clock without even needing a coffee break. That's what we're talking about here. This isn't just a tool that follows orders. It's a system that thinks, learns, and takes action.
So how does this amazing digital colleague actually get the job done? Well, it's a pretty straightforward 4-step dance. First, it takes in data. Then it analyzes it, makes a decision, and finally, it interacts. Let's start with that first step.
So, step 1 is all about data intake. Think of it like a detective gathering clues. The agent is constantly pulling in a crazy amount of information. We're talking everything from customer emails and chat logs, to photos and videos of a claim, to data from your smart home sensors, even outside info like weather reports or credit data. It takes all of that messy, jumbled stuff and pieces it together to see the full picture.
Okay, so now that it has all this data, what happens next? Let's pop the hood and look at the engine that powers all of this intelligent decision-making.
So inside this engine, you've got a few key parts. There's natural language processing, or NLP. That's the magic that lets the AI read a panicked email from a customer and actually understand what they're saying and how urgent it is. Then you have machine learning models. These are like a super experienced claims adjuster who's seen millions of cases and can spot a fraudulent claim a mile away. And finally, you have APIs. Think of those as the universal adapters that let this new AI brain connect to all the old systems a company is already using. So that's the tech under the hood. But look, fancy tech is cool and all, but what really matters are the results, right? So let's talk about the impact by the numbers. This is where the rubber really meets the road.
Just look at these numbers. The difference is absolutely night and day. Claim resolution time? We go from a whole week down to maybe a day, sometimes just an hour. Fraud detection? We're talking a jump from 60-something% accuracy to over 90%. That's huge. The cost to handle a single customer question, it basically disappears. And the big one, keeping your customers happy and sticking around, that goes up too. This isn't just a little bit better, it's a complete game changer.
Let's just focus on that retention number for a second, because this is so important. In insurance, keeping your customers is everything. That's where the real sustainable profit is. And by making everything faster and smarter, these AI agents are pushing retention over 90%. And let me tell you, even a few percentage points there can mean millions and millions of dollars.
And what about the savings on the back end? I mean, every single time a customer calls or sends an email, it costs money. Usually
4, 5, maybe $6. With AI handling the simple stuff, that cost drops to under $1. Now, multiply that tiny saving by millions of customer interactions a year. Yeah, the savings are absolutely massive.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, you see this amazing positive feedback loop. The service gets faster and cheaper, which makes customers happier, so they stick around longer. At the same time, the company is losing less money to fraud and is better at predicting risk. It's a win-win. Better for the customer and way better for the business.
Which brings us to our final stop, the future. We've seen what this tech can do, and the proof is in the numbers. So now let's look ahead at the road bumps and the incredible possibilities that are just around the corner.
Now, it's not all smooth sailing, of course. There are some big challenges here. You've got major data privacy laws to deal with, like GDPR. A lot of these companies are trying to connect this brand new AI to computer systems from the 90s, which is, tricky. Plus, the laws around AI itself are changing all the
But that's not stopping the progress. The next wave of this stuff is already on its way. We're talking about combining AI with smart devices for real-time pricing. Imagine your car insurance premium changing slightly based on how safely you drove today. We'll also see explainable AI that can actually tell you why it made a decision, and even things like blockchain smart contracts that could pay out a claim instantly, no questions asked.
And that all leads to this incredible long-term vision. The experts think that by 2035, the insurance industry as we know it might not even exist. It could be this fully automated world where AI agents handle absolutely everything, from signing you up to paying out a claim in a matter of minutes. And what about the people? Their jobs will change, from doing the paperwork to dreaming up the next big thing.
So, let's wrap it up with this one big question. The tech is here. The results are undeniable. The future is clearly intelligent. The entire insurance industry is being rebuilt from the inside out. So, the only real question left to ask is your business ready?